hope you're doing well, and I hope you're finding my videos really helpful. Interview preparation is very, very important because it is not only for colleges, for jobs also. So you need to prepare really well for these interviews, because this is not, your written exam and everything else is your selection process, but this is your elimination process. If they select a few, but this will eliminate you from something. So now in today's segment, we are going to discuss questions on your hobbies and interests. We have already discussed about this in Tell Me Something About Yourself, and you've already talked about your hobbies in that question, because you want them to ask on these topics only, because they are your strong points, your forte. So you want them to ask. So you've already mentioned. But there are some more questions which are based on hobbies and interests. The first question they might ask is, what do you do in your leisure time? Now, what is leisure? It's not hobbies or interest. It's about when you're totally free, what do you like to do? In this question also, it's a golden opportunity to mention your likes and dislikes, so that they can ask you more questions on that and probe you more, and the whole discussion goes in your favor. I mean, they are asking you what you want them to ask. So word this well. Please write down in detail what you like to do in your leisure time, and don't mention I like to play video games. You can talk about I like watching good TV serials or TV serials on Netflix, but not those things which will not give a good impression. It can be about listening to music, about watching sports programs and all that. Okay. The next question that could be asked in this segment is who's your favorite sportsman, singer, if you're fond of music, or your favorite TV show. So they can, if you talk about your books, reading as a hobby, then they can ask you about your favorite author, the books you read, what you have read. Tell me something about the last book you read, the last Netflix series you watched. So be prepared for this. Okay, the next question that could be is, how do you keep yourself updated through? So if you read newspapers, you can say that. If you follow some apps like InShorts, Times of India, Economic Times, then you talk about that. And you should know about the editor, or a little more about these apps, who's promoted it and all that. That's very important. The next question is about general awareness. They might ask you about today's headlines, means the day of the interview. So or headlines a day before, a few days before, and a little more about that. So be prepared with the current affairs. Current affairs are very, very important. They just want to know, are you generally aware or not? They don't want a frog in the well in their college or at the workplace. Another question that could be is, about any particular issue that is going on in the country or in the world. Like any news that really affected you, or any news that made you happy, or any news can you talk about any news that made you really sad? So you should be prepared for these kind of questions also based on current affairs. The other question could be, what kind of articles or magazines do you like to read? And if you do read, if you're fond of cars, do you read any car related magazines, or do you read the blogs or articles? You should be able to talk about it. Okay. And one more question that can be related to this is, how do you relate your hobbies with your career? Suppose you are into dancing, painting. So are you going further with that? So this is a very important question if you are connecting your hobbies with your career. But if you're not, you can say that, okay, this is my hobby, but my career is something different. I want to keep my passions little different, away from my career plan. So, or maybe someday I would be doing this. So you can talk about that. So I think that's all about our hobbies. But if you have little idea or little hobby which you have, please develop it, Google more about it, so that you can mention more number of hobbies, and they can make out that you are a multitasker, versatile person, which is like you want to paint a good picture, so please do that. And you should study in detail about a few areas of your interest. So if they ask you any question, suppose my favorite singer is Arijit Singh, so then you should know everything about Arijit Singh. My favorite player, sportsman is Virat Kohli, so you should find out everything about him. So you can confidently answer all their questions, because the questions will follow from what you have already answered. So you have to be very particular about what you're saying, and then be prepared. The more you prepare, the better content. Don't forget those 3 C's: confidence, communication skills, and content. So this is all about content and giving them cues what you want them to ask. So this is a very important segment. I hope you've enjoyed today's segment, and thank you so much. Stay safe.